A Baltimore high school student released a video of one of his peers being beaten by school police. Now, the video is difficult to see. I want to give you a warning before I show it to you. But the officer shown striking the student would not be at the school Wednesday and has been reassigned pending an investigation. Baltimore City Schools Police Chief Marshall Goodwin has been put on administrative leave. Okay. Now take a look at this video and then try to understand why it is that this person was not suspended, but reassigned. Take a look.
Go the fuck home. Go home then. Get the fuck out of here.
Jesus.
So the school did not release the identity of the police officer, and the school would not admit whether or not that was a student. However, the person who took that video says he was indeed a student at the school, Reach Partnership High in Baltimore.
Okay, so now I know Baltimore's a rough place. I lived there very, very briefly, and it's probably not easy to be a teacher or a cop in some areas of Baltimore, but we're not paying you for an easy job. We're paying you for a hard job, and that is nowhere near within the parameters of your job. If that's what you think you have to do to students to do your job, well, then you're not the right person for the job, and you got to go. So this is the easiest thing in the world, because all you got to do is think, what if that was my son?
Right.
Right? But the problem is, isn't that amazing? For a lot of people in America, they just can't think that way.
They don't think that way. I think what they do, for some people, not all obviously, they look at that video and the first thing that they think of is, well, what did he do to deserve it? But understand that as a cop, you're there to keep people safe, right? So let's say he was mouthing off to the cop. Let's say he was acting up. I get it. It's annoying. And the cop has a really difficult job because he has to deal with this kid, right? First of all, this is just speculation. I don't know what he did prior to this video being filmed. As a cop, you do not have the authority to just randomly decide who you're going to beat up or not beat up, right? You have to handle this situation professionally. All of us have jobs. All of us are expected to behave professionally while we do our jobs. Why is it that we make exceptions for police officials? And why is it that as soon as these types of videos come out, the first thing people do is ask themselves, well, what did he do to deserve it? There's nothing that he did to deserve it, right? That's not what a cop is supposed to do to handle this situation.
That's right, because even if he did something to deserve a detention or a suspension, no, he didn't deserve that, right? And we don't even do that to convicted criminals. Mm-hmm. If you did that to a convicted criminal, you'd say that might be enhanced interrogation, right? So now, remember, I'm the guy who defended the cop in the beginning. Remember that in Texas, I think it was Texas, they took a student, a girl,
and they
down,
dragged her.
Right? And then they threw her. And I said, look, before throwing her, he's trying to detain her. You have to use some degree of physical force to detain someone. I get that part, but he didn't need to throw her. In this case, he's not trying to detain the student, right? It's not like, hey, he was a little too rough as he was trying to get him out of the room because he wouldn't listen to the teacher. No, he just boom, boom, hitting him. It's not a close call. But the reason we're having this conversation is, I guarantee you a lot of people who watch this will go, no, it's a rough neighborhood. You got to do what you got to do, and you got to respect the cops. And if you don't, and besides which, there's no racial angle here because the cop doing it was black too. So it's like, my problem is that when you have schools, not necessarily in black areas, but in poor areas, people feel like we can do what we want to those students.
Because they have no power.
That's right. The chance that a cop does that to a kid at Beverly Hills High School
inconceivable.
Is 0% chance. He wouldn't be reassigned. He wouldn't be fired. He would definitely be arrested, because the people in Beverly Hills have power. If you slapped a Beverly Hills High School student like that, do you have any idea what kind of trouble you'd be in? But in Baltimore, you think, what's the difference? I can get away with anything. You think that's the first time that's happened to a student in that school? You only get that if they got away with a lot more before that.